Hello people of the web, and welcome back to another episode from the Vanilla High server. I'm feeling a lot better than when I recorded my last Let's Play video. With my throat nearly fully recovered, I can nearly hold a tune singing in the car. Don't worry, I won't force you to endure my singing though. Somehow we've ended up in a position where we're pretty much out of redstone, so I'm using some of the rotten flesh that's coming from the gold farm to generate a little bit of redstone. Unfortunately, we don't have a cleric with a good redstone dust trade, but it's still helping. And it also means that I get to repair my tools. The reason for needing a lot of redstone is that I have some plans for this episode, and currently we have no dust remaining, which is why I'm using desperate measures to get a little bit of redstone dust. While I put my loot away that I gained from trading with the villagers, I suppose I should share with you my plans for this episode. Although it's probably been spoilt by the thumbnail and title of the video, I want to make some significant improvements to the Guardian farm, which means this week is going to be a very busy one. I'm going to grab some spare blocks and then we'll head down to the Guardian farm and I can explain what the issue currently is with it. Let's go out this way. Oh, and while we're heading out this way, might as well have a quick look at Hushbug's decorating. She's continuing to make it look prettier. On the previous map, the Guardian farm design that we had was ideal on a single player world, but on a busy server never had a great deal of drops. So on this server I wanted to make sure we had plenty of spawns, so maximise the spawning space. This was especially important at the start of the server, as there was often a full server of people competing for mob spawns. This is currently at a nice rate of spawns, but when fewer people are online we often generate more mobs than we can fit down what I like to call the chute of death. Our entity count climbs, and that's not healthy for the server, so we need to do something about that. Another problem we have is that there's only 3 double chests to collect the items, and as soon as they back up, things start sitting on top of hoppers, just again adding to the entity count. And also the stuff in the chest is completely unsorted, so often when taking out items to make sea lanterns we get more and more cooked cod until eventually we have a double chest full of cooked cod, which we don't really want. So we need a sorting system. Oh, and with Hushbug working on the face at the top, the outside looks really pretty, but down here it's really ugly and unfinished. But of course we can't work on the building while all guardians are coming down and trying to kill me. So the first thing to do would be to stop spawns, which is what I brought Prismarine for. If we go down here, the top layer of water should be source blocks and everything below that is flowing water. So all we need to do is block off the water at this height, and then all this flowing water beneath should cease to be. Yeah, this might take a little while of placing blocks. I might call Hushbug on Skype and see if she fancies helping. I decided to do a bit of AFKing quickly at the gold farm while I went to do some shopping, and the rates look pretty good when I'm up here. I just popped down to the bottom and realised that there was so many drops that there was gold despawning on the ground. I've picked it all up, put it in shulkers, and we're good to go again. And spawns have returned to what I'd call a good rate. It's very satisfying sitting here. While I'm aware the gold farm has nothing to do with today's project, it was quite useful to be able to AFK there while I was vacuuming the house. We gained 5 shulkers full of rotten flesh and just over 8,000 gold nuggets. So the gold farm definitely works quite nicely. And now I've got time to play, So I'm back at our base, and Hushbug is around. So, you know that job we've got to do in the Guardian farm? Might take a little bit less time now. Best get rid of the rotten flesh first, and then pick some building blocks. These will do for building blocks, and rotten flesh goes in like so. As you can see, we've placed a lot of Prismarine and have nearly finished. We are, however, out of Prismarine, so Prismarine brick will have to be the resource we do the last bit with. I've finished, apart from the last block, and all of this water in here is sloping down from the single block. So as soon as I cover it up, it should mean that the water all starts to drop. It's been a long time since we emptied the tank, and it feels rather big in here. The last Guardians are just dying. Without the impending doom of Guardians in here, I've now got a chance to think and decide on how I'm going to act. I will want to move up the lava to a higher height so that they can go through a couple blades and then have a decent amount of fall damage. So the most sensible thing is the next layer from here. This is good, I like this. This layer needs to come up a couple blocks, and then I'll probably redesign the bottom layer completely. So my first step is to remove the water from down here, which I started doing in this corner, and will continue to do for quite a while, I suspect. Although I could use sponges. That would be smart. Sponges. Those aren't sponges. Sponges! Although it would be smart to block up the lava first. Yep, this is definitely easier. Yeah, that was the right decision. I'm sure I'm going to have a bit of a break while I do all this work, and then the next clip will probably be a significant progress update. Hiss in my ear scared the bejeebers out of me. Although an exploding creeper wouldn't be the worst thing to happen. I am digging this out. There's nothing to protect. I just don't personally want to go up in a big bang. I've hardly made a dent on the dig, and I've already nearly worn through Velvety Velma and collected a fair amount of stone. Yep, this will probably be full by the end of the project. I managed to rope Hushbug in, and we managed to dig the hole. Hushbug did most of the work, but I did some. And now we have to start building the actual farm. No more just digging. Now, although the floor has been dug down to y = 5, the actual collection system will be a few blocks above this point, but it will then allow me space to sort out the sorting system. Since we built the farm, what we've actually been doing is travelling in via the front door, which is over there, and walking down some steps. Now, my plans for the future are to have a portal on the wall about there, where we then walk forwards to an XP farm. Now the first thing I want to do is place the chests and hoppers for the collection system, and then I can build the rest of it to fit. And these will be the 8 hoppers that collect all of the drops. Whoops. Yeah, that should give me enough space to do everything I need to do, both above and below the build. And one of the most expensive parts of the build is 8 enchanting tables. These will go on top of the hoppers that collect all of the drops. I was just thinking where on earth I'm going to get water, then I remembered that there's plenty of the stuff up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if we swoopy swoop, oh, nearly swoopy swoop, put a water bucket in each of these dispensers, Then all we need is an on-off switch to power them, which should be simple enough, in theory. I was having issues with powering both these dispensers, where when one's powered, it then powers the second one for some reason. And I don't entirely understand it, and it doesn't really matter, because technically I don't need 2 dispensers each side. I can just pop that out, place it with glass. Because with a water source here and here, we'll be fine. Let's see if it works. Yep. Now, this is going to be a bit of a jump cut, in that I've let some of the water flow. Apparently we're spawning salmon. But if you look down here, we have flowing water feeding all the way to the middle, and squid. And in the middle there's a drop chute with lava and a collection area. I've only opened up a small amount of it just to see how it goes, but it seems positive. And I think I might just go all in and get rid of the whole ceiling. See what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Whee! Now, fortunately for me, I still have haste. Oh, that's very satisfying. Considering the time it took to place all of these blocks, it's not taking much time to get rid of them. Oh, it slowed down. I'm too far away from the beacon. This is painful. Right, let's go get beacon boost. Sorry, beacon buff. Beacon buff! Ah, much better. And now it seems to be working, so let's see if we can repair a pick. First off, let's get rid of some of this stuff out. Oop, not that. I want that. Get rid of some of these blocks so that I can take my armour off. Right, pick 728 durability. If I stand here and go swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yeah, that seems to be working. Obviously it'd be a lot better if I have a beacon in the area so that I don't take quite so much damage, and if I didn't have just raw cod to eat. Oh, of course, I have food. Steak! One of my biggest concerns was whether the Guardians would fall down that little hole there, which, hang on, video setting, no, not video settings, field of view, turn that up, there we go. That hole there, or whether they'd bunch up around it. They seem to be getting on okay. Whoa! Yeah, field of view makes me fall off of things. Oh, I hate this. As you can see, we've gained a few Guardians. And ideally, with a sweeping edge, we should be able to kill quite a number of them at once. Oh yeah, I was supposed to take my armour off and check on 986. Yep, that works quite nicely. My pick was repaired in a very short period of time. Now, with this design, I wanted to be able to turn off the water and the Guardians drop to their death. Unfortunately, they don't take quite enough damage if I take out the water. So what I have installed is a lava bucket. Which means then we don't have mobs sitting around. I'll just let the numbers climb, and I have another pick that needs repairing, so let's see what this batch does. 211.
Just have to watch my health. So I'll be eating a lot of food using this, unless I set up the beacons, but that's good. Can't wait to show Hushbug. Now, I'm sure that this design is not the most efficient, but it seems to work for me. Now, my concern about the mobs not falling down fast enough, by the number of legs that I can see, yeah, that's definitely a concern. I've sat here AFK for a little while now, just keeping an eye on entity counts, and it never goes above 100 when idle, so they're not backing up too much. It's sorting itself out, which is a relief, because I don't know what I'd do if I had to rebuild it. It's quite difficult. Now, how do we sort out all the drops? It's going to take me a while to get used to seeing this many drops. And yes, I know I'm not getting any at the moment. I'm voiding them because the hoppers are full. Which is why we need to sort out the storage. Our collection area has 8 hoppers. And to avoid suffering from a bottleneck of having a hopper-based transportation system, I actually feed each of the hoppers into its own dropper, with a comparator-based clock for each dropper, so that the items can be spat out into an item stream, which will carry the items to a sorting system that will be bulky enough to handle the drops, no matter whether we're using a looting sword or just using passive drops. Currently, the items are spitting out and just being voided. But as you can see from the rate that they're coming out, it's a good job that we're using multiple droppers. And you can imagine how many more items there would be if I were up there using my looting 3 sword. Yeah, this is a powerful farm. I did my part in designing the farm. I've now explained what I'll need space for in regards to a sorting system, and Hushbug has kindly agreed to take on the job of decorating the area and laying out the room. Now, I'll be helping her of course, but she will take the lead for now. Then when she's finished, I will hook up the sorting system. I think that is plenty of progress for this week. I'm going to call the episode here. That means Hushbug will have time to work her magic without the pressure of me needing to finish the video. Every week I'm amazed by the support you all give, and I appreciate you continuing to do so. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Leave a like, and I love seeing your feedback in the comment section. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye now.